So it's still Tuesday, September the 22nd,
It is.
2015. And now I'm going to talk to Christine Bates. And Christine, where did you live in the village?
At High Clarendon Farm.
And when did you go there?
1973.
73. And what was it like when you bought it and you went there? Describe the
it's
house
difficult
to me.
because my husband bought it, and it was the squash court of where Kathy and Skip McMullen now live.
It was a squash court?
It was a squash court, the squash court to High Clarendon House, yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. So
he was an architect, so he...
Your husband was an architect?
Yes, Michael Newbury. Yes, I was Newbury when I was here.
Oh, right.
And he converted it into actually the most lovely house, wasn't it? Fabulous house.
Really?
Mm. And he just finished it when I met him, so that was very lucky.
My goodness.
Mm.
So when did it date from? When did the McMullens build the squash court?
No. It was the most extraordinary story because I don't remember the man's name, but High Clarendon House was owned by a German, an old German man. Do you remember him? But I don't remember his name. He was quite an adamant man, and Michael had a hell of a job to buy the squash court from him, because what he said was, during the Second World War, the German mark was suddenly worth nothing. So he wasn't going to swap cash in his property for money that might be worth nothing the next day.
Yes.
So he just couldn't forget the fact that suddenly the German mark was worthless.
So we're talking about 1939,
I guess, yeah. So that's why he wouldn't sell High Clarendon House, because High Clarendon House sat there empty, didn't it?
Oh, for ages.
Years and years.
Really?
And yes, absolutely.
And there used to be a man walk around with a gun, wasn't there?
Yes, there was. And so I could pick all the snowdrops. And in fact, we moved an awful lot of snowdrops. I dug them all up. Because there were obviously originally lovely gardens around High Clarendon House.
Yes.
So we just had the run of it, really. And then what happened was that old man died, and his son then sold it to Kathy and Skip.
To the McMullens in 83, I think.
Was it? Yeah, I remember them arriving with two small boys.
Yes.
And they'd come back from Africa, South Africa, I think, was it? Or was it Namibia or whatever it was called in those
I think
days?
it was Namibia,
Because I know Kathy had to go back to medical school to update her medical training to become a GP at Austin Road.
Yes.
I don't remember. But I remember, too, we were lucky enough to have a lovely swimming pool at the ex-squash court.
Yes.
And we used to have swimming lessons there, so the McMullen boys learnt to swim with our lot. Well, we used to spend hours, didn't we, by that swimming pool.
Oh, lovely. So how long do you reckon High Clarendon House was empty?
10 years?
Really? As much
Would you
as that?
say 10 years, Catherine?
That's probably, I never knew anybody.
From the Second World War.
I didn't know anybody living.
I don't know when this German man bought it, to be honest, but he wouldn't sell it, and it wasn't until he died, which was probably in 1980 something he died.
Yes.
That the son then, thank goodness, could sell it. And Kathy and Skip only moved into half of it, actually, didn't they, at the beginning? And then I believe the other half stayed empty, didn't it, for a while, for whatever reason. I don't think anyone ever lived in the other half. Well, Kathy and Skip would remember that. And then they managed to get the whole house as their boys grew up.
Yes. But can you describe your house, your converted squash court? It sounds wonderful.
Oh, yes, it was. Well, there was a huge sitting room. And Michael put a floor in, so it wasn't as though it was... But the sitting room was the ground floor, or, of the squash court.
Yes.
And, bedrooms above. Then after I came with my 3 children, and he had 4, so then we had 7, we built above the garage a huge playroom above the garage.
So there was a squash court, and did you build the garage?
Yes, we built the garage.
Right.
And, well, Michael built the garage. That garage was there when I first met him and moved in, then we got married. But we put the room above the garage. But that was a lovely house, actually. But it does look, I mean, if you look at it, well, I don't know about now, because it's on the market, isn't it? Or it's just been sold, I think.
What has?
High Clarendon Farm, hasn't it? Hasn't it been on the market?
About the farm, I mean...
Well, the squash court.
Well,
Not where the vineyard is.
No, I'm talking about... I thought what you had is now the vineyard.
No, not at all. Well, yeah, we did own that as well. That was all part of our land. There were cow sheds there. And then, so we had wooden stables there. But then Michael broke all the planning rules. He was a very clever man, actually, wasn't he? Because dear Kathy McMullen had him on the television, didn't or reported him.
They did a programme on television about Michael.
About Michael Newbury, yes. Because he
architect.
broke all the planning rules. So
Built without planning.
yes. So he built a house for a girl groom, actually. And brand new stables as well as the wooden stables. So we then had and that house that Michael built, it was a flat roof. He always built very modern flat roofed houses with portholes, is the one that's now the vineyard, but they knocked that house down.
Oh, right. So I thought that's what you're talking about as the squash court was what the Tyndales knocked
No,
down.
not at all. No. Because the...
But you owned all that land?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. Owned the whole lot.
And you built another house, which is the one that the Tyndales knocked down, is that right?
Absolutely.
I see.
Absolutely. Because what happened was when we got divorced, Michael moved into that house that the Tyndales now live in, and then he sold it to the Selbys, didn't he? Who actually lived in it. They lived in it as well, that flat-roofed house with the portholes.
Yes.
Yeah. And then they must have sold it to the Tyndales, who knocked it down, didn't they?
Yes. Yes. Have you seen it?
Oh,
With the new
absolutely.
build? You've been up there?
Oh, yes. Yes, she's fabulous. Who's in the squash court? I don't know. I thought it was recently on the market, High
So does
Clarendon
it still
Farm.
exist, that squash court?
Well, the house does.
Planning in to knock it down and redevelop.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought I read, exactly. So they'll make a lot
that's
of money,
what
won't
it
they?
is. Interesting.
Yeah. But from the outside, I still think you can see it was a squash court, can't you?
So where is it? Is it on the same side of the road as Kathy McMullen's and the Tyndales?
Oh, absolutely. So between the two of them.
Is it?
But they have barricaded it because I've taken some of the children. One of them lives in Australia, and Candy and I went up fairly recently. And it's very difficult to see it because they've
Yes, I've
barricaded
never
it
seen
in.
it.
Have you never seen it? No, well,
No.
we didn't have it barricaded in. It was all open, wasn't it?
Well, as a newcomer to the village, I don't know what I'm looking for. So.
No. Well, yeah, I suppose you can't get in there. From the M1 you can see it, you see, if you do the walk, the other side.
I see. So
Yeah,
how
but
many horses did you have?
Well, all our kids had one each, and Michael had one, and I
What,
had
all
one.
8 of them?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, as far as well, let me just think about this. Candy and... Yeah, I think there was we had 6 of our own. Yeah.
Horses.
And then...
So was there a lot of stabling up there then? Must have been.
Yes, yeah. Well, we had wooden stables that were the old cow sheds there, plus the old cow sheds that actually were there till I think the Selbys used them, the old cow sheds there, but I don't know whether they're there now. I don't think they're there now.
So where would have been the old farmhouse then? Because
Well, that was Skip.
oh, there wasn't.
No, well, Skip and Kathy live in the house, High Clarendon Farm.
No.
High Clarendon, High Clarendon House. And I'm assuming all that land was owned by High Clarendon House up to the M1, and Freddie Laker owned all round us. And,
Well, and Peter Knappin had the farm.
and Peter Knappin, yes.
He had the one down
He had the fields down below you.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
along what is now the 246.
Yes.
That land.
Yeah. So I'm assuming, because we had 75 acres round
did?
the squash court,
Did you?
High Clarendon Farm. And I presumably, Michael called it High Clarendon Farm, did he? I assume.
He must have done.
Yeah.
So you bought with 75
Yes.
acres?
Well,
or
Michael
your
did,
husband
yes.
did, yes.
Round the squash court, yeah.
Yes.
How many acres went with your house?
Not that many.
No, less land.
And High Clarendon House, I don't know how much land Skip
No,
actually has.
they've just got a big garden and that
Yeah.
wood,
Yes.
woodland, because I used to
With the
put the
snowdrops.
goats in there. Yes.
Yes.
Nice to go.
But the thing I do remember more than anything else about the village is these wonderful firework parties that Catherine and Andrew gave every single year. They did all this wonderful hot toddy, didn't you? Wonderful drinks and hamburgers, didn't you? And sausages. And every single year they did this wonderful November the 5th firework party. I must admit I don't remember the first year because I don't know whether we came.
You weren't.
When everyone had their own fireworks, which must have been lethal. But it was all very well run by the time we started coming. And in fact, the child I had with Michael Newbury did go to Mary Prophet's school.
Oh, really?
Mary Poppins it was called, wasn't it? It was absolutely wonderful, that school.
Yes.
And all the lovely East Clarendon ladies who worked there, didn't they? They all helped Mary run the school. Jane Bingham Newland worked there. And yes, absolutely, yeah. And it was such a fabulous school. But the shop wasn't here when I first came. I don't remember a shop in the village at all.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know when the shop closed.
Mm.
But I certainly remember we used to walk through to West Clarendon, that footpath you say, thank goodness, is now open, to the shop there, Brown's shop we called it, didn't we? There was a sweet shop at West Clarendon.
No.
Yeah, at West Clarendon, that we could walk right through to, wasn't there?
There was a shop in West Clarendon.
We used to get the
when you
newspaper, yeah.
Not West Horsley.
West Clarendon. Yeah, I'm sure it was West Clarendon. Did I say Horsley?
No,
came. No, you said Clarendon.
No, wasn't.
Clarendon.
Didn't that footpath go through to West Clarendon?
Across the golf course?
Yes.
Yes, because it was
Yeah,
a golf
we used to
course.
buy
Yeah,
the.
so when did it become a golf course?
Yes, it wasn't a golf course
My
then.
son was involved in building the golf course.
Right. So what date might that be? Late 70s?
Recently. No, not as long ago. It was more. I would say that more 1990.
Yeah.
Quite recent then.
Yes.
Now the lady that did for me was the most incredible lady called Ivy Weston,
Great.
and she was.
Tell me about
she
Ivy
She
Weston.
never stopped talking, did she? But she was.
So where did she live?
she
lived
lived
in the village?
in Thomas
Thomas Drive.
Thomas Drive.
First house
St
on
Thomas
the left
Drive.
was St Thomas.
Right.
But she was an absolute sweetheart. She really was.
She was lovely.
And she was quite elderly when she worked for me. And then when Michael moved to the flat roof building, the stable, the groom's house, Ivy still did all his ironing.
Yeah.
She used to walk up in my day, but Michael used to come and bring his ironing to her.
Right.
Because Jack died before Ivy, didn't he?
Yes.
And then their daughter lived, presumably still does live in Thomas's.
So
Drive.
what did Jack do? Was he a farm
Do you remember
worker?
what Jack did? No. Do you remember what Jack Weston did?
No, but they were estate workers, weren't they?
Probably.
Because that
yeah.
St Thomas Drive was built by Goodhart Rental,
Yes,
wasn't
it was.
And it's a
Mm.
housing association.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
presumably Ivy's children live there.
Her daughter,
daughter.
has lived there for years, whether she still does or not.
The
I
first
don't-
house on the left.
She's first house on the left.
Ivy and Jack were, yes. And I can't remember which house the daughter. I think the daughter was further up on the left as well.
Oh,
What
I
was the
know who
daughter's
her daughter
name?
is.
It's
She
not
is
Elaine.
Oh, no, it was the granddaughter.
Is
that
it
lived there.
Elaine? Elaine.
Elaine is the
I
granddaughter.
met Elaine. She's got the most
'Cause it
delightful
was-
dog.
Yes, because the daughter lived up near Nick, actually.
Golly,
Didn't-
that's
didn't she?
interesting.
The daughter
So,
lived in...
so Elaine would be Ivy's granddaughter.
Absolutely,
That would be interesting.
yes.
Was such a character.
What
Yeah,
did she,
she
look
was
like?
wonderful.
Did she?
She was actually she wasn't tall, but she wasn't all that short, and she was sort of round. But she had the crossover.
She had the pinny.
She had the crossover pinny
Yeah.
always.
Yeah.
She walked up in her crossover pinny,
Yes. Yes.
and she was a real. She never stopped talking, did she? Ever? I always had to make sure I was out. Otherwise, she never did any work. I think we had a chat, and then I went on. We
Yes,
went riding,
Something to do. Yes.
and
Tell me about Keith
he
Curtis.
used to work behind the bar in the
He was
pub.
like a rugger.
And he had birds. He had an owl in his house
Yeah.
Where was his house? Where did he live?
in the village.
Tree.
It was called Yew Tree
Yew
Cottage.
Tree.
That's exactly where he lived, with his
Was the
owl.
church.
He had an
He was
owl. Yeah. And actually, I tell you what,
He
he
was a
that.
very nice man there, wasn't he?
Sorry?
He was nice.
Oh, yes. He was great fun. And he worked behind the bar in the pub.
Yeah.
And then he, in fact, started Honeysuckle Bottom Sawmill, didn't he? He definitely did. And it's now a very successful sawmill that Keith started. Honeysuckle Bottom is in West Horsley.
East
Oh,
Horsley.
Is it East Horsley? Yes, I suppose it's East Horsley. It's a long road, actually, and it comes into what we call Netley Woods.
Oh.
So it's about, it's at the bottom. And it's a hugely successful sawmill now.
But Keith started
Keith
it?
definitely started that, yes.
Oh, right. Oh, my goodness. So
I don't know
he-
what's happened to Keith. I mean, he'd be someone really good to interview, and he was
Oh, he'd be
quite
still
a lot
around,
younger
would he?
than us.
He was younger than us.
Yeah,
but
so
he
I would
was
say,
huge, wasn't he?
yes, I suppose so.
So this is the one that worked behind the bar to
Yes.
supplement his income, I
Exactly,
suppose.
exactly.
Yes. And lived in Yew Tree Cottage.
He did.
And we're talking about what sort of date?
Well, in the 70s.
In the 70s.
And I guess into the 80s.
Yes. But has since moved
Probably the whole
down
time
to
I
West
was...
Horsley, I suppose.
No, because it's not residential, that sawmill.
Oh.
Except knowing Keith, he probably would have lived there. The blokes at the sawmill would know where he was, I'm sure. I could walk the dogs down there and ask them if you want me to.
Yeah, fine.
Mm.
Great.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, so that's back.
any other characters that you can? You
No,
can
those
think
are the only two I remember vividly, were Ivy and Keith. They were great friends with one another, Ivy and Keith, as well.
of? Oh, right.
So,
But that's interesting, that tie-up with St Thomas Drive, and the fact that she could be Elaine's grandmother. That's very
she
interesting.
definitely is.
Yeah.
Ivy's definitely Elaine's grandmother.
Oh, that would be interesting to talk to Elaine. then.
Oh, definitely. And Elaine will remember Keith, I'm sure.